first $1 million gate since the famous Dempsey County Long Count battle in Chicago 8 years before. Everyone's stunned by the fury of Lewis's attack.
What's happening, my friends? It's Cast Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. Mike Mazik, Ant McQueen, Hardcore Boxing News, hashtag JBT. Thomas Hill, hashtag JBT. Salute to everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cast Sports, The Box Storian. Today, Mike Tyson versus the Legends. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's The Box Storian, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. How's everyone today? Tuesday afternoon edition of Cast Sports, The Box Storian. Still early in the week. We got Mike against the Legends today. Larry Holmes, of course, one of the biggest fantasy fights of them all. Mike against Ali, Joe Louis. But now Larry Holmes, we actually got Mike versus Larry Holmes, but it's not going to be that. That was 38-year-old Larry Holmes. The one we're going to talk about today is prime Larry Holmes, the one that won the WBC championship in 1978. We are going to see how that Larry Holmes fares against Iron Mike Tyson in his prime. This is a regular series on Tuesdays. Al Booger, what's up, AB? How are you today? Mike versus the legend. Both Jacks from the 20s, Jack Johnson and Jack Dempsey. Big George. We almost got Mike Big George, because when Mike first came out of prison, there were talks of his first fight out to be Big George, but it didn't happen. It was Peter McNeely. And guess what? Mike and Peter McNeely was top 10 pay-per-view all time. So imagine if it would have been Big George. That would have been up there, probably top 5. But we're going to get Mike and Big George today. But it's not going to be the Big George from the 90s. It's going to be the first Big George from the mid-70s, the one that fought Ali, Frazier, all those guys. Yeah, that Big George. You know, and Big George, it was like two different people. You know, the first Big George in the 70s and then the one that came back in the late 80s. It was just like it wasn't even the same guy, man. You know, it was really strange because, you know, the first Big George was, you know, a tough interview and all frowned up all the time. And the second Big George is always smiling, happy. And people that saw that was like, it must be just another guy named George Foreman. Can't be him. Technique. Salute Technique. How are you today, bro? Yep, Tyson in the 80s. That's the Mike we talking about. The Customato Mike Tyson, okay? Not the one that Buster Douglas beat. But we can't take anything away from Buster, because that Buster that beat Mike Tyson, if that Buster could have hung around, he would have been a problem. But we never saw that Buster again. You know, he ballooned up. Somebody said he was almost 400 pounds in between the Tyson and Holyfield fights. But that big, tall, rangy, with the good, busy jab Buster Douglas that beat Mike Tyson in 1990, he would have been a problem to Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, Riddick Bowe, all up, Razor Ruddock. But like I said, that Buster Douglas never returned. He just had that one fight against Tyson. So it wasn't all just Tyson taking him lightly and being out of shape. That wasn't. Buster Douglas put on an excellent performance that night, man. Shocked the world, not just the boxing world. That was one of the biggest upsets in sports, period. Okay. Yeah, Jay says unbeatable Mike. Pretty much, yeah. If that Mike that came on the scene in the 80s, wow, he was something. He was just destroying everybody. You know, remember the Michael Spinks 91-second fight? Yup. Yeah, so that Mike, when he came out of prison, he did become champion again, though, after his incarceration. Did become champion again, but not the same Mike at all. That us that saw him back in the 80s, that killer, no. But that's the one's going to be fighting these legends today. Customato Mike, you know. Kevin Rooney trained Mike. Yeah, him. But then, you know, Don King came in and he just got rid of all the cusses people and put his team in place. And Mike was never the same. A lot of it was outside the ring. I know a lot of the older people remember the Robin Givens interview with Barbara Walters that night, where she just stood right there beside Mike and destroyed him. You know, Mike was not expecting that. He was speechless. Talked about how he beat her and he was no good. And Robin just poured it on, man. And yeah, mentally, Mike checked out at that point. Jay Hardcore know what I'm talking about. Yeah, mentally, Mike checked out at that point, man. That was bad. Mike was speechless. He was not expecting that. He would have never even came to the interview if he knew that was what was going to happen. Yeah. But Mike Tyson versus the legends. And we are in fight week for the big Canelo card, remember? And it's a good undercard. You know, Cool Boy is back in action. Stephen Fulton. Rolando Rolly Romero makes his return since he lost his title to the Pitbull. Pitbull has lost it since then. And Barroso should have got a shot in there somewhere. But, they sent Barroso over there to Japan to fight that guy with the 92% knockout rate, set him up for failure. And they might not be rid of the old guy, though. Barroso might fight his way back, but they're not going to let him back. Because Barroso was a problem to him. None of the bodies wanted him to have, they didn't want the old guy to have their belt, and they're not going to let him back in. All those guys at 140 can breathe a sign of relief. See, we're rid of Barroso, because Barroso was a problem. Okay, but he should have got the shot. He should have got the shot against Pitbull. Against Rolly instead of Pitbull. He deserved the rematch. And then once Pitbull won it, I thought Barroso should have got the shot instead of Rayo. And then instead of sending the guy over there against that killer in Japan with Andy Hiriaka with the 92% knockout rate, Barroso should have got the shot against Rayo. The man won the title eliminator, but never got a title shot. Boxing is strange, but we love it. But we're gonna get started in about 5 or 10 more minutes. Waiting for some more of my people to get here at 2:30. Haven't seen Lonnie Lee for the last couple of days. Anybody seen Lonnie? I didn't see him Friday and yesterday either. Wow. So, but hopefully he'll be here today. James Brody, what's up, James? How are you today? Always good to see you. We're going to be talking about Mike Tyson versus the Legends today. Our regular series on Tuesdays. Already got next week. I don't have it set up, but I know who it's going to be. It's going to be Marvin Hagler against the Legends next week. Yeah. Against people like Carlos Monzon. Now, Marvin and Carlos were in the same era, but Carlos was like at the end of his career when Marvin was just at the beginning of his, so they never met up. But they're going to meet up next week right here on Cast Sports. And some of those 50s middleweights, I think the 50s was the best era for middleweights. Sugar Ray was a middleweight by that time. He had came up from welterweight. Jake LaMotta, Gene Fullmer, Randy Turpin. Yeah, 50s was the greatest era for middleweights, I think. And we're going to see Marvelous Marvin Hagler against those guys next Tuesday. So don't miss that. Ray Patterson, straight out of New Jersey. What's up, RP? All my people in here today. Got to make this good. Yep. Even found pictures of Tyson against all these people. They had little shots of him matched up in these dream fights. Couldn't find one of him and Jack Johnson though. Yeah, but we're gonna have it. Mike Tyson versus Jack Johnson. Jack was kind of like a cautious fighter, took his time, and if you got close to him, Jack wasn't scared of clinching. But I think Mike would have worked his way in against that slow style. But we're going to talk about it. I'm telling you the show before we even get into it. Yeah. But who else we got? We got all of them against the Iron Mike Tyson. Oh, even got Teofilo Stevenson, the amateur. What would have happened between him and Mike if Teofilo would have came to the professional ranks? Got that one for you too, yeah. Teofilo Stevenson. There's my list right there. Jersey Joe Walcott. Ernie Shavers. Imagine them two big punches in there. That's not going the distance. Ernie Shavers and Mike Tyson. Anybody think that's going the distance? Oh yeah, technique. We got to do the Rock. You doing any kind of dream heavyweight fights that don't have the Rock, like I was saying yesterday about the chins. I'm calling the police on you. Gotta have Rocky Marciano in there. Yeah, Mike against the Rock. Yeah. The only man to retire undefeated as a heavyweight, Rocky Marciano. Oh yeah, and I forgot on that card this weekend, we got Danny Garcia and Erislandy Lara too. That's a fight they've been trying to make for a while, but we getting it this weekend. Danny said he's going to retire Lara, but I don't know Danny because Lara come out of that Cuban boxing system. It's hard to beat them guys, man. So Danny, you just better wait and be quiet. Just get in the ring and do your thing. Danny haven't been in there for a minute. Lara been fighting, and it's for Lara's think it might be the WBA. Lara has one of those titles at middleweight 160. So it's for his belt. Yep. And Caleb Plant on the card. I told you it was a fire undercard. They knew it because to sell that card, they wasn't going to sell it off Canelo and Edgar Berlanga. I'm sorry. So they had to put together a fire undercard, and they did. Caleb Plant and Trevor McCombie. Trevor ain't bad. I'm picking Caleb, but Trevor will make it a nice competitive fight, I think. Yeah. So fire undercard, man. It really is. Yep. And yeah, I think I got them all. Joe Lewis, Rocky Marciano, Joe Frazier, Big George, Jack Dempsey, Jack Johnson. Oh yeah, Larry Holmes, Ernie Shavers, Jersey Joe, Teofilo, and Mike Muhammad. That's the lineup that Mike's going to be going up against today. Mike Tyson versus the legend. But how's everybody this Tuesday afternoon? We're still in the beginning of this week of boxing history. We'll have the interview with Marvin McDowell tomorrow. And then Thursday, the Boxing in the State series continues with Iowa this week. We're going through the alphabet. We're up to Iowa. And you know, when you think of boxing, Iowa isn't exactly the place you think of. But yeah, they got a history in boxing. We're going to cover it Thursday. And then we always end this week of boxing history with the profile. And this week, it's the life and career of Benny Leonard. Okay? Legendary lightweight from the 20s. He's in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Went in that old timers category in 1990 when the International Boxing Hall of Fame originally opened. You know, the old timers category was the category because they just opened in 1990. All those guys that fought years ago, they just put them all in one category and put a whole bunch of them in. You know, like Joe Lewis, Sugar Ray, Willie Pep, Benny Leonard, Archie Moore. All of them went in that first year, 1990, into the old timers category. And our subject of the profile Friday, Benny Leonard went in that category. Okay. Let's do this. Let's look at our commercial right quick. If that's okay with y'all. Let's let Big Dre tell us about this raffle we got coming up. Big Dre is our JBT spokesperson. Yeah, that's right. I'm nominating Big Dre. That's another. I thought of that today, Jay. We got another job category in the JBT spokesperson, and I'm nominating Big Dre for it. JBT spokesperson, Big Dre. And here he is. I told y'all about me and technology, though. Let me be quiet for a minute. I ain't gonna say nothing for a couple minutes. I'll hum. There we go.
It's time for another raffle brought to you by the JBT. Our first item is a new 10th generation iPad with a liquid retina display which shows off beautiful color and has plenty of power for all your handheld computing needs. Great for work, play, or just movies on the go. How much is it to enter, you ask? Just $10. Or you can catch the deal with 3 entries for just $25. It's easy to enter. Just cash app your entries to $JBT Network 1. That's $JBT Network 1. Our second item is a set of Kenichi Bear Bluetooth noise-canceling headphones. Great for gaming, movies, or travel. As the second prize in this great raffle, our third item is a Ninja brand air fryer. Great for all your air frying needs. Cooking healthy with the JBT. So send your entries via Cash App to JBT Network 1. That's JBT Network 1. $10 each or 3 for $25. Put raffle on the comment line and you are entered.
You are entered. Okay. You are entered. Like Big Dre said, Apple 10th generation iPad, some Kaniki Bear headphones. That might be the biggest one of them all. Headphones and the Ninja Air Fryer. And the Ninja Air Fryer. Wow. I thought it was going to stop at the Apple 10th generation iPad and the Kaniki Bear headphones, but then and a Ninja Air Fryer too. Damn. Wow. Have you got your tickets yet? You better get them. Melanin Queen 27 in the building. Because Melanin Queen and Michael Garner, I done lost track of how many chances they got, man. We're approaching 50 so far. 50 interests in it. Mike Rim in the building. What's up, Mike? How are you today? We get ready to get started with the Mike Tyson versus the Legends. Yeah. But $10. I would get the 3 for $25 if I could get it. But I'm supposed to be making the drawing, so no, it wouldn't be right. You know, I might mess around. Because I would get the 3 for $25, and then suppose I'd come out, win all 3 of them. That would not be right, man. I probably have to go off the air. Cash Sports would be history. They would say, I'm not listening to that no more. He cheated us, man. So I'm not getting in it. But you can. So get the $10 or the 3 for $25. You can't go wrong. Cannot go wrong. So let's get ready to get started with today's show. Mike Tyson versus the Legends. Regular series on Tuesdays. We're going to take a boxer from an era and just put him up against a whole, like 10 or 12 boxers from different eras. And then I'm going to tell you how I would think it would go. And then in the chat, and I'm going to drop the link later. I need to know what y'all think, because this is just what I think. This is not exactly what might happen. It's just what I think would happen. So, and I need to know what y'all think. I appreciate all the comments I got and everything last week on everybody's opinions on what would happen. Because I got some very, very, very knowledgeable boxing people in here. So yeah, I need to know. So yeah, Mike Mazzy, I appreciate that. Mark Madall profile that's coming out soon. Mike Mazzy, you know, Wednesdays was always a show where it would come out an idea from the chat, and Mike Mazzy has gave some fire profiles, and he's giving us another one, Mark Madall, and he's coming up. Probably be next Wednesday. Yeah, next week. So they give you some homework to do. And Thomas Hill came up with this idea about the this Legends show, because I had did one on Floyd. I wasn't planning on making it every week, so Thomas Hill gave me a lot of homework, you know. But I ain't started calling him yet for help with it, but I am. He's gonna be doing some of the research on it. It was his idea. Yeah. And like I said, Marvelous Marvin Hagler is next week. Marvin Hagler versus the Legends, but right now it's Mike Tyson versus. Get ready to get into it. Like James Brown said, get involved, get into it, get involved. Okay, Mike Tyson versus the Legends. Now, first thing I'm going to do, since we're talking about boxers from different eras, I'm going to talk about some of the different eras that we've had in our sport. Okay, start with that. Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more in the building. What's up, Bruce Gas? Good to see you today, bro. Always good to see Bruce Gas. What's up, bro? He's in the building. Let's see. Appreciation's looking good. Ooh, we got 50 already. Just kidding. About 20 almost. I'm getting up in the 20s with regularity now, and I appreciate it. 1,000%. Part of that Fire JBT network. We got a fashion show, a hangout, voice of the streets. And guess what? We got no other organization has. None. We got Melanin Queen 27 in here, in the JBT, okay? Let's talk fashion in the building. I was just talking about the fashion show. And there he is. Let's talk fashion. Okay. I got my getting my age discrimination lawsuit off the ground. I done talked to the NAACP on it. But salute Let's Talk Fashion. Another Friday Let's Talk Fashion coming up tomorrow at 10 a.m. And hopefully about 3:45 today, we're going to get a preview of tomorrow's Let's Talk Fashion. Hashtag JBT. Fire Fashion. That's Remo's lane, man. And that, if you're missing Let's Talk Fashion, you are doing yourself a huge disservice. You better check it out tomorrow, 10 a.m. I guarantee you'll be back every Wednesday at 10 a.m. from then on. And then we got the casuals on Fridays too. Remo and McQueen. They talk all sports. BN Boxing News in the building. What's up, BN Boxing News? Another Friday JBT channel, man. I told you that JBT, man. And we basically just getting started. BN Boxing News gives some good post-fight shows, man. You know. And then sometimes he takes time out of his busy schedule and come up here on the panel and help me out sometimes, yo. BN Boxing News, salute. Another Friday, JBT channel. He probably give a post-fight for this big card Saturday, Canelo. I'll be over there. Salute. BN Boxing News. Okay, let's get ready to go. Mike Tyson versus the Legends. Okay. Lonnie Lee will be here momentarily. Well, I haven't seen Lonnie in a couple of days. Huh? Anybody seen Lonnie? Seen him since Thursday in here. Okay. But like I said, this series is about matchups between boxers from different eras. I'm going to briefly go over some of the different eras of the sport of boxing, okay? Now, the 1920s and 1930s was when the sport really began picking up in popularity in the United States, right? And a lot of credit for that increase in popularity during this period went to Jack Dempsey, who was a very famous world heavyweight champion. And Jack Dempsey was one of the most well-known athletes in the country at that time, not just boxing. He was one of that big five. I told you about that, you know. Babe Ruth in baseball, Bill Tilden in tennis, Red Grange in football, Barbie Jones in golf, and Jack in boxing. And guess what? Jack was the most popular of them all. Married a few Hollywood starlets, not one, a few Hollywood starlets. Yeah, Jack. Very popular. He played a big role in bringing boxing to popularity in the 20s. Yep. Then in the decades following the 20s and the 30s, some of the boxers who were instrumental in continuing boxing's popularity were names like Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Robinson, Jake LaMotta, the 6-fight series they had, and Rocky Marciano came around the 40s, right? Now, during the mid-1960s to the late 1970s, what many people refer to as the golden era of the heavyweight division, that took place. And in this era, greats such as Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Ken Norton, and of course, Muhammad Ali, they all competed in what was called the golden era for the heavyweight division, right? And then this was definitely one of the strongest periods of heavyweight boxing, with many fighters who competed in this division during that time, leaving strong and lasting legacies on the sport, right? No doubt, one of the greatest eras of heavyweight boxing, that 70s. Now, after that came the era of the Four Kings, which went from the late 1970s to the mid to late 1980s. And you know, the Four Kings were Roberto Duran, Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearns, and Sugar Ray Leonard. And they were called the Four Kings because they were four of the most popular fighters at that time. And they all fought each other. And this guy wrote the book. I said his name yesterday, but I forgot it. He named them the Four Kings. He wrote a book about them, right? And that's where the name came from. And it stuck. And many people that follow boxing credit the Four Kings with keeping boxing popular post Ali, right? Ali had just went out and the Four Kings came along right at the perfect time. And then And many people call that one of the most popular eras in boxing history, the Four Kings era. And this is also the era when other greats like Wilfred Benitez, Hector Camacho, and Julio Cesar Chavez began their careers. And this is also when the underrated Larry Holmes became heavyweight champion. And Larry defended the title 19 times, but he still doesn't get anywhere near the recognition he deserves, okay? And during the mid-'80s, on into the '90s, the heavyweight division experienced another surge in popularity with the arrival of Iron Mike Tyson, right? And along with Mike, Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, Michael Moorer, and Riddick Bowe began their careers. And Big George Foreman made his return at that time. And there was some movement in the lower weight classes as well, some of the other weight classes as well, such as Oscar De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins, James Toney, Roy Jones Jr., and Pernell Whitaker, all turned professional around that time too. Now let's fast forward to the late 2000s to mid-2010s, to the Floyd Mayweather Jr., Manny Pacquiao era, right? Now that began when Pretty Boy Floyd retired and Pacquiao immediately took over, moving through the lower weight classes, winning titles at every stop. And then when Floyd returned as Money Mayweather, he was no longer considered pound for pound number one. And then from that point on, everything Floyd and Manny did was compared to each other. And the build up to a fight between those two took over the sport of boxing. Y'all remember? The build up to that Floyd Manny fight took over the sport. And what resulted was the best-selling pay-per-view in boxing history, and also one of the most disappointing fights of all time, as Mayweather cruised to the win, right? And also during this era, the Klitschko brothers reigned at heavyweight for a long time. And this was arguably one of the worst periods of the heavyweight division, okay? And that put a lot of focus on the lower divisions at that time too. And during and following that period, the big names of today came on the scene. Canelo, Wilder, Fury, Bud, the current face of boxing, that monster from Baltimore, Gervonta Tank Davis, Loma, Joshua, Usyk, Charlo, the Mexican monster, Shakur, Boots, etc. Okay, now let's get into today's show. Sipping, what's that? Sipping in the water in the building. What's up, Sipping in the water? How you doing today? Good to see you. We get ready to, you right on time, but we get ready to talk about Mike against the Legends now. Still no Lonnie Lee. Man, I'm on the back of the page already, and it's just 3 o'clock. Wow. Okay. Mike Tyson versus the Legends. Let's get into it. I done lost my place. Oh, let's talk about Mike's career real quick, briefly, before we get started. You got to cover that real quick. Now, Mike Tyson competed from 1985 to 2005, a 20-year career, right? And actually scheduled to get back in the ring later this year, right? Against Jake Paul. But he was known as the baddest man on the planet during his career. Tyson is regarded as one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. He reigned as the undisputed world heavyweight champion from 1987 to 1990. Now, Iron Mike won his first title. Iron Mike won his first 19 professional fights by knockout. First 19 by knockout. 12 of them was in the first round, right? And claiming his first title at 20 years old, Tyson is the youngest boxer to win the heavyweight championship. And that still stands to this day right now, September 10th, 2024. He's still the youngest to win the heavyweight title at 20 years old. Took it from Floyd Patterson. He's going to match up with Floyd today. Trump in the building. What's up, Trump? How are you today? Always good to see Trump in here. Another very knowledgeable boxing person, man. I tell you. Where's Joe? And I haven't seen Joe in like a week now. Anybody seen Joe? Joe always contributed. Joe was a big-time boxing historian and always contributed. I was learning every day. Joe was in here. He was teaching about story. Like I do when I go over there to Bruce Gas. I learn stuff. Yeah, now Mike is youngest to be heavyweight champion at 20 years old. He was the first heavyweight boxer to hold the WBA, WBC, and IBF titles at the same time. First 3-belt unified champion. WBO, I believe it was around, but the other 3 wasn't recognizing it at that time. Now, Tyson's final fight was June 11th, 2005. Now, he had a total of 58 fights in his career. He won 50, lost 6, had 2 no contests. You know what one of them was, the bite fight. And Mike had 44 wins by way of knockout, 88% knockout rate. Not bad. And Mike was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2011. Yep. Okay, let's go. Mike Tyson versus the legends. First, Mike Tyson versus Joe Louis, the Brown Bomber. There you go. Real prison talk with Tommy in the building. Yep. You better say it again. Another fire JBT show, man. I told y'all about that JBT. And we just getting off the ground. Like Jay Hardcore. So what you say, Jay, what, like 3 years from now? I'm talking about a year from now. Where we gonna be at there? 6 months from, by the end of this year. Where we rolling? Technique says Joe Beast Tyson. Okay, there we go. That's what I want to hear. I want to know what y'all think. This is just what I think. I don't make it right, you know. I'm just a box story, and that's all. Technique picks Joe. Let's get into it. I'm still writing down Prison Talk with Tommy. That's a long name. What's up, Coach? That's Coach Thomas Norris, personal trainer. Looking for a personal trainer. Yeah, Thomas Morris is your man. Guess who he trained? Ronnie Lott. The Ronnie Lott of San Francisco 49ers fame. That's right. Coach Thomas Morris trained him. So if he can train Ronnie Lott, man, he can train anybody. Okay? Mike Tyson versus Joe Louis, the Brown Bomber. Now, this is really an interesting matchup here because styles make fights applies in both directions. Lewis's style would be hard for Tyson, and Tyson's style would be hard for Lewis. Now, Lewis famously had trouble with fast movers, and Tyson was extremely fast on his feet, as well as with his hands. Now, when Tyson was at his peak, some people thought of him as a straight-ahead brawler, but that was very wrong. Mike was really good at controlling angles and distance to set up his devastating combinations, and he had the speed and agility to do it. So that would frustrate Lewis. Now, on the other hand, Lewis was one of the great all-around boxers, okay? Capable of fighting at any distance, which on Mike wasn't, by the way, right? And Lewis was good at reading his opponent's weaknesses while compensating for his own. He'd enter the fight with a solid plan and take instant advantage of any mistake that Tyson made. And Joe Louis also wouldn't be impressed at all with Tyson snarling and showboating. You know how Mike always had a lot of fighters intimidated before the fight began? That would not be an effect against the Brown Bomber. No intimidation whatsoever. Because there's an elite list of boxers who refuse to be psyched out. And Joe Louis is at or near the top. Okay, so that intimidation factor wouldn't come into this one. Now, this fight is even money. Now, Lewis's chin was good, but not great. And Tyson might knock him out early. Now, if Lewis's excellent defense kept the fight going more than a couple of rounds, Tyson would start to get frustrated and sloppy. And Lewis would begin to methodically pick him apart. It's a great fight either way. But if Mike don't get him out of there early, Joe will stop him late or take a decision. That's what I got on it. Either Mike early rounds, or Joe late stoppage or decision. Now, if it's 12, I would say decision for Joe, but 15, Joe stops him. Okay, Mike doesn't make 15. That's what I got on that one. What y'all think? Thomas Hill says Mike over Joe for me. That movement and that tremendous speed and a formidable speed and combustible power would be a formidable challenge for the legend and champ Joe Louis, but a great fight nonetheless. Al Booker says exactly T. Hill. Okay. Technique got Joe Louis. Oh, Al Booker also says, I think Mike's movement would have given Joe big problems. Al Booker and Thomas Hill got Mike. Me and Technique got Joe Louis. Well, I got Mike if Mike could get him out of there early. But if it goes any distance late, then I got Joe. Okay. Because, around 6, 7, Mike started having gas tank issues. He just wasn't used to going deep like that. And he never went 15. So if it gets past 12, the Brown Bomber is stopping him. But see, I could talk about any of these fights for the entire 2 hours. So we got 12 to cover. So let's move on. But I thank everybody for the comments in the chat, the engagement. Appreciate it 1,000%. Yep. Nakes is we could do one of these for the whole show, really. Maybe I should have just made one each week or something. I don't know. But let's move on. Rocky Marciano is next. Mike Tyson versus Rocky Marciano. There they go. Of course, Rock on the left, Mike on the right. Okay. Still no Lonnie Lee. I'm getting worried because has he been in any other chats? Because he usually in mine every day, and I ain't seen him since Thursday. Right around 2:30 when he gets off work, he normally comes in. But okay. Mike Tyson versus Rocky Marciano. Okay. What y'all thinking, Caps on? All right. Now, this is another matchup between fighters decades apart. Now, in this case, nearly half a century apart. And with half a century worth of nutritional research and conditioning methodology benefiting Tyson only, right? Now, if Marciano was a fighter in the 80s with the benefits of modern training techniques, there's little doubt he would have been heavier and hit even harder than he did back in his era. The Marciano's slight weight at heavyweight, he never fought over like 185. And some of that was due in part to his incredible conditioning. Now, if he could fight that long and hard in the 40s, he would have been a monster in the 80s. Now, if they were both brought to the modern day, 1988 Tyson versus 1952 Marciano, Tyson would have to blitz him in 2 rounds for his best chance at winning. If he could put Marciano on the mat enough times, the referee would likely stop the fight, although I don't see Tyson truly hurting Marciano. Now, if the fight drags on into the later rounds, then Tyson's chances diminish greatly. Marciano drowns him in the deep waters. Both of these guys had great punching power, but in reality, it wasn't all that big a part of Rocky's arsenal. Now, Rocky did hit pretty hard, but the key was he still hit that hard in the 15th round, okay? Now, let's use an explosives analogy to describe the difference in the power of these two fighters, okay? Now, Mike was like a stick of dynamite, highly destructive, but over in a moment, right? Now, Rocky was like the explosive thermite, a high energy burn that over time eats through steel. This fight ends in a stoppage by Mike early or by Rocky late, okay? Again, like Joe Louis, if Mike could blitz him and get him out of there in a couple rounds, he wins. But if Rocky gets him into them late rounds, especially 15, he stops Mike. Okay? That's the way I got it. Okay. James Brody says, Technique says, I got Marciano again if it goes late. Exactly, Technique. Great minds think alike. That's exactly what I think. If it goes, Mike's only chance would be to get Rock out of there early. Ant says, man, I got to go a deep dive on all of these matchups. James Brody said, oh, shoot, I didn't end my chat. It's back. James Brody says, I got Tyson. Didn't Archie Moore drop Marciano? But he got up and stopped him, though, James Brody. Archie Moore did drop him. Now, Mike might drop him, like Archie Moore did, but he got up and stopped Archie. Okay? You're 100% correct. Like Archie Moore did drop Marciano, but you're not telling the whole story, James. What happened after Archie Moore dropped Marciano? Finish the story. Last time I checked, Rocky got up and stopped Archie. Okay, don't just tell part of it. Come on, James. Don't do that. I ain't gonna let you get away with that. You're right. Archie did drop him, but Archie ended up getting stopped. Okay. No, don't do it. Don't even try it. I gotta go Rocky out of respect. Yeah. And like James said, Mike might drop him, but I still gotta, if he doesn't stay down, he gets up and stops Mike late. Okay, that's what I got on that one. Okay. But good try, James. Good try. Next is Smoking Mike Tyson versus Smoking Joe Frazier. There they are. What the likes look like? Looking good. Jay, you might have to hit that bag tomorrow if I get like 30 likes. Okay, let's continue. They say, yeah, right. Yeah, the old man got stopped, James. Archie was an old man and the old man got stopped. I mean, what are you trying to say? James said Archie was an old man and the old man got stopped. Smoking Joe Frazier is next. Smoking Joe Frazier was slaughterhouse strong. And the only man to ever put him down in the boxing ring was the man that many claim is one of the 3 strongest boxers to ever set foot in the squared circle. You may have heard of him. It was some guy that called himself Big George Foreman. Only man to put Joe Frazier down, okay? Now, Mike Tyson was a powerful man with power in both hands, but even he didn't claim to be Big George strong. Now, I seriously doubt if Tyson had the outright power to knock Joe Frazier out or even down. Secondly, and the most important aspect of this matchup is an intangible, but something we saw in both men's careers many times, because you didn't just defeat Joe Frazier, and Bruce Gass and Jay and people the older guys can tell you about this. I ain't calling y'all old. You didn't just defeat Joe Frazier. You had to damn near kill him, okay? You had to damn near kill Joe Frazier. Smoking Joe would come at you again and again and again. There was no quit in him. Frazier transcended himself, his body, and his willpower in the 3 fights against Ali. And he kept coming at Foreman even after being knocked down 6 times. The uglier the fight, the harder Smoking Joe would come. Mike Tyson never showed that side of himself in any fight, okay? He gassed out against Buster Douglas, and none of his fights with trainer Kevin Rooney challenged him enough. His return post-incarceration, Mike was a poor shadow of himself. Tyson never showed the do-or-die, and no knock on Tyson, but Mike never showed the do-or-die attitude Frazier always fought with. Smoking Joe would have gladly died to get the win over Ali in the Thriller in Manila, and he would have died happy if he could have got that win. Joe was blind at the round 14 and was still trying to come back out there. His trainer had to save him from himself, man. That was classic save my fighter from himself. Anybody saw that Thriller in Manila? Joe couldn't even see and was still trying to come back out and fight that last round. Mike Tyson never fought like that. No, never. There's no comparison when it comes to sheer, unyielding willpower between Mike Tyson and Joe Frazier. And that would have gave Smoking Joe the edge in this matchup. I got Smoking Joe in that one. 15. I don't think Mike makes 15, but 12, he got Mike. Mike got a decision. Tim Layton. What's up, Tim Layton? How are you today? Tim Layton, hashtag JBT, that is. Salute. Talking about Mike against the legends. Mike against the legends. Okay? Al Booker says Smoking Joe got that with Carolina sharecropper grit. Yeah. Jarrell Hattie. What's up, Jarrell Hattie? Yeah, I just think that sheer willpower and Joe Frazier would have just. Mike couldn't have overcame that, man. He knocked Joe Frazier down. Joe Frazier getting up. Okay. Like I said, you had to damn near kill Joe Frazier in that ring. I'm serious. So I would have Joe, like I said, 12 rounds, he probably get a decision, but 15, he probably gets him out of there. Now, Terrell Cameron. What's up, Terrell Cameron? Man, she had like 50 likes by now. We're approaching 30. Jay. Get that bag out for the morning. Whatever likes will be doubled. No, I'm just kidding. Let me stop. Okay. Next is Big George Foreman. Okay. I think it is Big George. No Lonnie Lee. I'm getting worried now. Nobody's seen Lonnie in none of the chats. He is here every day. Technique says he has 3 losses for Mike so far. Yeah, I wasn't keeping track. We've done 3. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Joe got Mike. Technique got Mike 0-3. I believe I did too. But he gets some wins in here. He gets some wins. We got 12 of them. We're only on number 4. It's Big George. There they are. Big George and Mike. Now, George Foreman. Mike Tyson. Okay. Let's talk about this. Real Prison Talk with Thomas said, I got Big George with too much power for Mike. Great point, Coach. Big George Foreman is an all-time great. He was active in what many call the greatest and most competitive period of heavyweight boxing. Foreman is arguably the hardest puncher of all time. And if he's not number 1, he's definitely top 5. That's not arguable. Definitely top 5. It's arguable if he's number 1, but top 5, that ain't even arguable. Big George retired for 10 years, came back into the ring pushing 40, and took a title from Michael Moorer, a very credible heavyweight at that time. Yeah, George came back and took the title from Michael Moorer, right? Now, Mike Tyson's mentor and father figure, Cus D'Amato, specifically warned Tyson against Foreman, okay? He and Tyson watched Foreman destroy Frazier many times. Cus felt that a short fighter like Tyson or Frazier could never win against Foreman's long-range power. I agree. And even during Foreman 2.0, when he was old, Tyson stuck to Cus D'Amato's advice and stayed away from Big George, despite Don King's financially lucrative offers. Yeah, Don was trying to get him in there when Mike came out of prison, instead of Peter McNeely. But Mike stuck to Mike remembered in the back of his head what Cus told him. And Cus told him, don't get in there with Big George. And Mike had already played the fight in his head 1,000,000 times and felt he knew the outcome. Now, I agree with Cus. Foreman's long-range power would have been too much for Mike to overcome. Mid-70s George versus Prime Tyson probably would have been similar to Foreman versus Frazier. But The one difference would be Mike probably wouldn't have got up back up off the mat as many times as Frazier did. Okay, so I got Foreman stopping him. Like Custer Amato said, that long range power would be too much for a short fighter. You know, how could Mike get in there to do damage against George? You know, Mike could get in there against taller guys, but none of them with the power of a George Foreman, because on the way in, he's going to take some punishment. And he might not make it all the way in. I got Big George by stoppage against Mike. Wow, that's 0-4. He's going to win some, trust me. He's going to win some. Al Booker got Big George in this one, too. Ooh, Terrell got an early night for George. Wow. Yeah, I got George in that one. Okay. Let's move. How is it 3 o'clock when I only been on here for 10 minutes? Wow. Thought it was like 2:15. So we got time. And we're going to drop the link too. Okay. I know we got some people that want to come up on the link and say what they thought. Jack Dempsey is next. Go back a ways. Mike Tyson versus the Legends. Mike Tyson versus Jack Dempsey. There they are. Now, Jack Dempsey's fighting weight was south of 200 pounds. So he would be at a significant weight disadvantage against Tyson. But size is not so big a factor as some people think it is. Styles make fights, and styles are a much bigger factor than size. Okay, agree? Everybody agree with that? Now, one huge key to success against Tyson was to take him beyond the middle rounds, where his punch output and power were greatly diminished. Now, the problem was finding guys who could make it that far. You know, finding people who could get past round 5. That was the problem. And if you could get him into the middle rounds, your chances are greatly enhanced. But, you know, it was a big problem doing that. Now, Dempsey wouldn't make it that far, and here's why. Now, where is Dempsey going to go against Tyson? But now, Jack Dempsey actually had the style and the tools to last some rounds with Mike. But the problem with Jack was he didn't have the mindset to use his tools, you know, like his footwork, to escape or create punching room against Tyson. Dempsey had one gear, straight ahead, and that would not cut it against Mike Tyson, who had greater speed and power than Dempsey. And he took a punch as well or better than Dempsey. And that's one thing that set Mike apart from a lot of heavyweights, you know, because a lot of heavyweights either had an abundance of power and little speed, or they were very fast but didn't punch very hard. Mike Tyson had an abundance of speed and power, and also took a good punch. And Mike did have a suspect gas tank. That and his unsettled mind were his biggest weaknesses. Exploit those two things, and he could be beat. But again, Dempsey had the style and the tools, but he didn't have the temperament. Dempsey would go right at Mike, and he would not get rid of Mike with a few shots. He would put himself in position for Mike to counter, and this doesn't last very long. Dempsey would likely hit the canvas a few times by the third round, if he even made it that far. Bottom line, Mike's blend of speed and power would be too much for Jack Dempsey to overcome, and Dempsey's power would not be enough to keep Mike off of him. So Mike got a win. There we go. Al Booker says, damn, that's a good one. I got Jack and Blackie Dempsey. Jack was just so ferocious, conditioning, two-hand punching. And says, damn, the losses are racking up for Mike. He got one, Al Booker, excuse me. He got one, Ed. He got one against Jack Dempsey for me. But he still doesn't have one for Al Booker, because Al Booker got him 0-5 now. Al Booker got Jack Dempsey. I gave him one there, though. Let's take a quick break. Okay. Is that okay with y'all? Take a quick break.
It's time for another raffle brought to you by the JBT. Our first item is a new 10th generation iPad with a liquid retina display which shows off beautiful color and has plenty of power for all your handheld computing needs. Great for work, play, or just movies on the go. How much is it to enter, you ask? Just $10. Or you can catch the deal with 3 entries for just $25. It's easy to enter. Just cash app your entries to $JBT Network 1. That's $JBT Network 1. Our second item is a set of Kenichi Bear Bluetooth noise canceling headphones. Great for gaming, movies, or travel. As the second prize in this great raffle. Our third item is a Ninja brand air fryer. Great for all your air frying needs. Cooking healthy with the JBT. So send your entries via Cash App to JBT Network 1. That's JBT Network 1. $10 each or 3 for $25. Put raffle on the comment line and you are entered.
You're in. Okay, thank you, Big Dre. Let's continue. Okay, Al Booger, you pick Mike over Joe Louis. Just Do Boxing, what's up, Just Do? Coming up at 4 p.m. today. Salute Just Do Boxing. Talking about Mike versus the Legends today. Let's continue. Uh-oh. Ooh, the likes are looking good. Almost pulling up on 30. Y'all treating no cast was good. I appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Where are we? Jack Dempsey was last. Okay, after Jack Dempsey comes, I lost my place. Jack Dempsey, I believe it's Jack Johnson. Number 6. Where's number 7 at, man? Oh, Jack Johnson. No, Jack Dempsey was 5, right? Jack Johnson is next. There he is. I couldn't find a picture of. No. Didn't we do Rocky Marciano? I think I went backwards. Are we? Yeah, I went backwards. Jack Johnson. There he is. I couldn't find Jack and Mike, so there's Jack. Okay, Mike Tyson versus Jack Johnson. Now, this is an intriguing matchup. We're going to break down the different categories in this one, okay? Because let's break this intriguing matchup down, okay? Technique says, I got Mike Tyson knocking out Jack Johnson. Okay, Technique, appreciate you. Now, Jack Johnson has a slight height and reach advantage over Mike. Jack was 6 feet even with a 74-inch reach. Mike was 5'11" with a 71-inch reach. Now, Johnson can use his 3-inch reach advantage to keep Tyson away with the jab. Now, Tyson weighed in at 218 pounds, while Johnson weighed in at 194 pounds. And the 24 pounds of weight advantage can really play a huge role in who is getting knocked out in this matchup, okay? Like Technique said he got Mike knocking Jack out. Now, Tyson has a strong power advantage with a career 88% knockout rate, while Johnson ended his career at 52.7%. This difference is incredibly huge. Also, Tyson knocked out people with strong chins like Larry Holmes, for instance. It was old Larry Holmes, but he still did it. And Tyson has another strong advantage in the speed department. Evander Holyfield, who faced Tyson 2 times, said Mike's power partially came from speed. Durability between the two fighters was even, or a slight advantage to Tyson, who faced some strong punchers out of his prime, so he should have been able to take those punches in his prime. He faced fighters such as Frank Bruno and Donovan Razor Ruddock. Now, Johnson faced Sam Langford in 1906. Langford was an incredibly powerful boxer, but his weight was only 156 pounds. I don't even have to talk about what Mike Tyson would do to somebody weighing 156 pounds. That would be, would win by murder, okay? Now, Johnson had a slight advantage in stamina. He could go 15 to 20 rounds. You know how they fought back then. Tyson was known for slowing down around the 6th round. And Tyson only went 12 rounds max. But Tyson does throw more punches than Johnson. And Tyson has the advantage on offense. He's known for blasting people out in the early rounds. And he was ferocious, devastating, and merciless. Now, Johnson was a much slower boxer. Most of his punches looked unrefined. Tyson had a slight edge defensive. He used the Custer-Yamato peekaboo defense to protect his face and to be an aggressive counterpuncher. Now, Johnson had a great defense for his era. He could block, clinch, and parry. Tyson had a slight style advantage. His style was fit for blasting out opponents, and it was built for short fighters. Johnson had a slower style, where he would pressure from the outside with his jab. Anytime his opponents got close, Johnson would clinch, okay? Johnson's style would not be great against Tyson. Mike could get inside consistently by slipping Johnson's slow jab. Mike Tyson had almost everything to defeat Johnson. They were both great boxers, but Tyson just had too many advantages. If Tyson doesn't stop Johnson early, this is one of the fights where Mike can still go deep in the fight and win by decision. Because of Johnson's slow-paced and cautious style, Mike could go deep in the fight without his gas tank being an issue. In this one, yeah, because of Johnson's style, Mike's gas tank wouldn't be an issue, and I could see him stopping Johnson early or getting a decision against Jack Johnson. It's another loss for Mike. Al Booker. Al Booker says, on Mike versus Jack Johnson is tough. The sport of boxing was completely different. Johnson's era compared to Tyson. That is a great point, Al Booker. That is a great point right there. Completely different, man. Yeah. That is a huge point. That's what makes that one so tough. That's why I just went by, category versus category, because that is a hard one to call, But if I had to make a decision, I would say Mike. Yeah. Mike would get him early, or because of Johnson. Johnson had like a slow pace. And Mike's gas tank wouldn't really bother him if he going deep against Jack Johnson. Yeah. Mike stoppage or decision in that one. But that is a great point, Albert, about the difference in boxing in those eras. Yeah. Definitely. For sure. Yep. Now we come to a good one. Larry Holmes. And this is one that we actually got, remember? But, that was old Larry Holmes. Larry was 38 years old, way past his prime. No business still in the ring, but Don King dwindled that $3 million in front of Larry's face. And Larry had originally said no to Don King, but when Don mentioned $3 million, Larry said yeah. But this is going to be Mike Tyson versus 1978 Larry Holmes, the one that beat Ken Norton for the WBC title. He was the 4th WBC champion in 4 months at that time, by the way. That's crazy. I hope I didn't run James Brody away. I haven't seen him no more, but he was made a point of Archie Moore knocking Rocky Marciano down, but Rocky Marciano still got up and beat him. I'm sorry, I might have been kind of harsh, but yeah, you can't make a point. You got to tell the whole story though. Archie did knock Rocky down, but Archie still ended up getting knocked out. So yeah. Larry Holmes. Yes, we actually had a matchup of these two fighters, and Holmes got stopped by prime Iron Mike. But Larry was 38 years old and well past his best years at that time. Now, the Larry Holmes I'm referring to for this matchup is 1978 Holmes that beat Ken Norton to win the WBC championship. Now, styles does make fights. Tyson was not unbeatable in his prime, although it didn't happen that often, okay? So, what did prime Larry Holmes do which would trouble prime Mike Tyson, okay? Now, Larry was a classic outboxer who used movement, jabbing, combinations, and technique to win his fights. He was surprisingly athletic and quick with fast hands and feet. Now, during their actual fight, 38-year-old Holmes was traveling Tyson in the first 3 rounds with his jab, which was his best punch, by the way. But he had been retired for 2 years, and he was given 6 weeks by sleazeball Don King to lose over 40 pounds, right? And the old, out-of-shape fighter simply could not keep out of Tyson's range. And Iron Mike dropped him in the 4th round 3 times to get the stoppage win. That was what actually happened. Now, prime Mike Tyson versus 1978 prime Larry Holmes likely would have been a very different fight. Length, reach, technique, and a truly historically great jab versus Tyson's volume punching and power. Now, if Holmes stayed outside, stayed on his bicycle, he would jab Tyson all night long, controlling distance with that long, hard jab. James Tillis showed a blueprint for prime Larry Holmes to beat Tyson. Tillis was slower than Holmes with 1 inch less reach. 2 inches shorter than Holmes, Tillis stayed outside, outboxed Tyson, and on 2 of the judges' cards, he only lost 6-4. So I got prime Larry Holmes by unanimous decision in this one. Al Booker got Larry too. Yep. Technique, prime Larry Holmes would keep that jab in Tyson's face all night. Told you great minds think alike. Everybody got Larry Holmes in that, prime Larry Holmes in that one. And 38-year-old Larry Holmes was not doing bad at all. Have y'all, anybody went back, younger guys went back and watched that? Prime Larry Holmes was not doing bad at all against Mike, started that fight. But he was 38 years old. Now, the way the 38-year-old Larry Holmes started that fight, prime Larry Holmes could have done that all night, like Technique said. Prime Larry Holmes, the way he fought those first 3 rounds before he got caught in the 4th, 1978 Larry Holmes could have done that all night. Easy decision. I'm never going to say easy because 2 grown men in there throwing punches at each other's head is not easy at all. But it wouldn't have been difficult for prime Larry Holmes. Dominant unanimous decision. I'll say it that way. Prime Larry Holmes gets a dominant unanimous decision. And we're on number 8. Let me pick it up a little bit. We got to get some link time. And the preview from Let's Talk Fashion. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 5 more to go. Well, we're in good shape. We 18. Next is 2 Customato pupils. Mike Tyson versus Floyd Patterson. Okay. Now, at their peaks, this is a battle of peekaboo prodigies. Both undersized, lightning-fast fighters. Now, as fast as Mike was, Patterson had blazing speed. He was faster than any heavyweight in history, with the exception of a young Ali. Now, Patterson had faster hands than Mike, and he was much faster afoot. Tyson was stronger, hit harder with power in both hands. Now, Tyson was stronger than Floyd, and he hit harder with power in both hands. See, it was getting late, and my handwriting was getting bad. But Mike was stronger, he hit harder, and he had power in both hands. And he had a much better chin than Floyd, okay? Now, while they're close enough in height and reach to call it even, Mike was a much bigger guy than Floyd, right? The same in height, but as far as bigness, Mike was a much bigger guy. And to be fair to Floyd, though, Floyd was a natural light heavyweight, and he started out at middleweight. Okay, we did Floyd Friday, remember his profile. Now, Tyson was a natural heavyweight, and despite being 5'9" or 5'10", Mike was naturally muscled, and he had a thick lower body and dense, compact build. Patterson didn't have the reach to box Mike and outside, and he didn't have the strength to beat him up inside. Those are the two blueprints to beat Mike Tyson. Like Holmes had the reach to beat him out, the strength to beat him outside. And those are the two things to beat Mike at his best. Patterson would have to be a better infighter if he could get it and stay there, because Tyson just wasn't all that good, at infighting. But he strived when he could bully and ultimately when he could bully and intimidate overmatched opponents. Let me start that over. Mike strived when he could bully and intimidate overmatched opponents. Now, Floyd wouldn't be bullied or intimidated after facing Sonny Liston 2 times, but I could see him being overmatched. And that matchup with Tyson would end similar to his 2 first-round losses to Liston. Although he probably would last a couple more rounds longer against Mike than he did against Liston. But I got Mike inside of 5 rounds, getting Floyd out of there. What y'all think about that one? Mike and Sonny Liston. No, not Sonny Liston. Floyd Patterson. I got Mike inside of 5. Yeah, Al Booker says it too. Mike stops Floyd. Real Prison Talk with Tommy. Mike over Floyd. 2 explosive and powerful. Yep, that's how I got it. Yeah, I got Mike inside of 5 rounds over Floyd. Yeah, we pretty much agree on that one. There's Melanin Queen doing her thing about the raffle. Hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure you get your tickets in the raffle coming up October 12th. We're getting close. We still got about a month. Okay. Now we got the 2 heavy punches. Next, Mike and Ernie Shavers. I think that's Ernie against Ali right there. Yeah, that's Ernie against Ali. We stuck on 28 likes. Can I get 30? Can I get 2 likes? Okay, Mike Tyson versus the Legends. Mike Tyson versus Ernie Shavers. Now, Shavers is arguably the hardest puncher from his era. And that argument is made by the boxers that were punched by him, okay? Now, Shavers is also one of the hardest punchers in the history of boxing. And his style was characterized by his power, his ability to exploit openings and short, powerful stance that Ernie had. Now, Ernie would throw punches at any legal area he could reach. And he was known for wearing down his opponents with his power. Let me get my glasses. Known for wearing down opponents with his power. Okay? Oh, much better. And Ernie was also durable. And he was able to box as well as slug. Now, as far as the Tyson versus Shavers matchup, Shavers was a hard puncher, but his chin could be suspect. He was stopped 7 times in his career, and he was fairly slow, and his gas tank was somewhat an issue. A focused Tyson was a much more skilled, much quicker fighter than Shavers, okay? Now, this matchup features 2 heavyweight boxers with knockout rates hovering around 90%. This fight is not going the distance. Now, although both men have outstanding power, I lean toward the much more skilled fighter, Tyson, to get the stoppage. I got Mike Ernie might last a while with him, because he had that power to keep Mike at bay a little. But middle rounds, I got Mike in that one. Yeah, middle rounds. There's James. What's up, James Brody? Yeah, James said he is still not good and trying. Holmes was old. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Holmes was old, James. You are right about that, 100%. Al Booker says I got Mike over Shavers. Best 2 out of 3. Yeah, I would have Mike over Shavers too. What you think about that one, James? Mike and Ernie. I would have Mike. Okay, I am not saying another word till we get past 28. Like, no, just kidding. Just kidding. Next is, I see people do that. If I don't get one more like, I'm just going to stop the show. That's crazy. Maybe it's not anybody else in there to give you another like. Haven't y'all heard content creators do that? Let's just stop. No more likes. How about if it's not anybody, everybody's already hit the like button? That's crazy. But next is Jersey Joe Walcott. And yeah, that's not Mike. Jersey Joe is fighting these. Jersey Joe, Mike Tyson versus Jersey Joe Walcott. Okay, just got a couple more. Yeah, we're gonna get some link time. We're going to get Let's Talk Fashion up here. Because Let's Talk Fashion is tomorrow, 10 a.m. It's Wednesday again already. Can you believe that? Wow. Now, Jersey Joe was 37 years old when he beat Hall of Famer Ezra Charles to win his first title. 37 years old. And he was 38 when he beat Charles in the rematch. Yep. Wow. 38 years old when he won his first title. Ain't that something? Now, Jersey Joe was fast, and he could punch, and he could move. But Tyson wouldn't show too much respect, which we all know. And he would try to get Jersey Joe out of there as early as possible. Now, if the fight goes past 7, then Jersey Joe could squeeze out a unanimous decision if he could get Mike late, especially if the fight is a 15-rounder. But making it there would be extremely difficult for Jersey Joe. I'm not counting Jersey Joe out now. He was very clever, cagey, experienced, and he had that grit in him. But his smaller size would make it that much harder to keep Tyson off of him. And if he can't keep Mike off of him, that increases the likelihood of the fight ending early. Now, even when Jersey Joe was young, he didn't exactly have a great chin. Plus, Mike's constant pressure, sharp hooks, uppercuts, and peekaboo style would all create huge problems for a fighter like Jersey Joe, who liked to use his feet and time his shots, right? So I would give Tyson a 75 to 80% chance of stopping Walcott within the first 3 rounds. Yep. Early stoppage for Mike. See, Mike getting some wins now. I appreciate you, Terrell. Yeah, Real Prison Talk. Tommy says Mike beats Jersey Joe. I have a hard time finding a smaller man to beat Tyson. Good point. Good point, Coach. And yeah, don't the Al Booker be tripping? You talking about, I'm not saying no more until I get another like. What if everybody in there done hit the like? You might well just end your show then, right? And yeah, Al Booker says, I got Mike over Jersey Joe. Much respect to Joe. Yeah, everybody got Mike in that one. James got Mike versus Schaefer. Mike in the late. Oh, Shavers. Oh yeah, that's what I asked you about. You got Mike in the late rounds. That's how I had it, James. Mike in the late rounds. Yeah, Mike getting some wins now. Now, this is a strange one here. Yeah, Teofilo never turned pro, but I put him in there. It's next to the last one. Then we're going to get some link time. Mike Tyson versus Teofilo Stevenson. Okay. Mike versus the Legends. Mike versus Teofilo Stevenson. That's Teofilo on the left. Okay. Yeah. Just put an interesting one in there. Now, see, I got 29. Somebody else probably came into the building. Right? Now, Mike Tyson probably couldn't have beaten Teofilo Stevenson as an amateur, but the rules are very different between Olympic super heavyweight boxing and professional heavyweight boxing. Oh, my handwriting got better again. Yeah, I think I took a nap and got back up and started over. Yeah, for a minute there, y'all heard me stumbling up. It was like chicken scratch, but it's back good. Yeah, Olympic super heavyweight boxing is very different from professional heavyweight boxing. Now, as a professional, Mike Tyson would have been too quick and all wrong for Teofilo Stevenson, who was trained for amateur boxing. But now we're going to get into it. Now, Stevenson used that extended left hand as a rangefinder for his right-hand bombs. And that's fine against amateur competition and boxers who are trying to stay away from your power. But against a top-level professional heavyweight fighter like Iron Mike Tyson, who's going to bring non-stop pressure and be on Stevenson in a matter of seconds, inside that long reach, with his fast hands and bombs with both hands against Teofilo's straight upright stance, I would say, oh, that's a recipe for an early stoppage by Tyson. But now, you give Teofilo Stevenson 15 to 20 professional fights to adapt to the professional game, to learn to deal with the professional styles, then this matchup could go very differently. So you got to be fair about it. Teofilo Stevenson had all the tools to excel as a professional heavyweight boxer. And if he had decided to go in that direction with his career, I have no doubt he would have ended up as one of the greats, okay? Yeah, Mike Tyson versus Teofilo Stevenson. Yeah. Teofilo Stevenson would have been a problem if he had decided to go heavyweight. But he would have had to defect and never go back to his country, and he loved Cuba, so he refused to do it. You got to respect that, you know? Yeah. And he had offers. He was at one Olympics, I think it was 72, and this sounded like Don King. They said one American promoter, they didn't give a name, approached Teofilo and had $1 million right there, wanted him to defect on the spot, had his house sitting, everything all set up for him, wanted him never to go back to Cuba. And Teofilo just told him, I can't do that, and refused it. He said, what's $1 million against the love of 8 million Cubans? Okay, so you got to respect that. You know, yeah. Teofilo refused to do it. Mad respect to Teofilo Stevenson. Yeah. One of the only people to have, one of 3 people to have 3 Olympic gold medals. Teofilo Stevenson, Felix Savon, who's also Cuban, and the Hungarian Laszlo Papp. Yeah. Okay. Then the last one is Trump says Marciano had an on chin would probably make the difference. Mike couldn't put him away early. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I said, Trump. I ain't got Mike hurting Rocky. Yeah. I ain't got Mike hurting Rocky. Okay. Rocky stopped everybody he fought in championship fights. Everybody. He fought Ezra Charles twice. The first time he didn't stop Ezra Charles. And he didn't have to rematch him because Rocky was the champion, but he rematched him probably because he didn't stop him, and then he stopped him the next time. But the final one, then we're going to put the link in. Mike Tyson versus Muhammad Ali. Now, this fight would unquestionably be the highest grossing fight in the history of boxing, no doubt. Everybody disagree with that? This would unquestionably be the highest grossing fight in the history of boxing. It would feature the 2 most popular heavyweight fighters of the last 50 years, okay? It would go down as the fight of the millennium, not century, millennium. Now, Ali was charismatic and fun, and Mike Tyson was violent, vulgar, and full of hate. And could you imagine a press conference? It would be a sports writer's dream to have these 2 at the same table with Don King sitting in between them. It would be a classic contrast in styles. Ali's speed and grace against Tyson's unearthly power. Now, Ali was poetry in motion in the ring, and Tyson was like a wrecking ball looking to crush anything in his path. this would be the most hyped fight in history. And guess what? It would be a dud. Better yet, a complete landslide. As good as Tyson was, he would not stand a chance against Muhammad Ali. Because guess what? Ali would have a 9-inch reach advantage. 9 inches. And he would be too fast and accurate with his punches. Tyson would not even be able to get close enough to unleash any of his power bombs on the chin of Ali. Even if Iron Mike got through, he would pay dearly for it. The fight would unfold similar to Ali's fights with Joe Frazier. Ali would stand on the outside and batter Tyson with straights until both of Tyson's eyes were closed. At some point, either the referee or Mike's corner would call the fight, or Ali would put Tyson on his back and he stays there. The fight would reveal what we already know to be the truth. Mike Tyson was a very good fighter for a period of time, but Muhammad Ali was the greatest of all time. Okay? Ali by destruction. 9-inch reach, and as fast as he was, a small, short fighter like Mike Tyson, a 9-inch reach would just be too much. You know? And then Ali had that chin if Tyson did get in there. Okay? So yeah, Ali by destruction. What y'all think of that? I think Ali by destruction. Yeah. Thomas Hill say Ali by frustrations. Real prison talk. Coach says everybody got Ali. Yeah. When I first saw that 9-inch reach, that made my decision right there. When I looked at it, and Ali had that 9-inch reach advantage, then with his speed and everything, man, and movement, how is Tyson going to get past that, man? That's just too much. Way too much. Yeah. That would be too much. Yeah. He would get a dominant decision, or Mike would just be so battered up that the referee or his corner would eventually stop it. Let me put the link in now in case some people want to come up and talk about these fights. Yeah, Booker. Hand speed, foot speed, chin, heart, IQ, size, reach, etc., etc. All for Ali. Yeah. Yeah, Coach. T. Hill. Pre-suspension Ali, there's no heavyweight that could even touch him. Not even the Brown Bomber. These guys from this era, Fury, Usyk, Joshua, Wilder, wouldn't stand a chance against Ali, prime Ali. Suspension, me and Joe always went back and forth about that. Now, they tried to get Teofilo with Ali. Now, early Ali would beat Teofilo, but the late 70s, Ali Teofilo would beat him because Leon Spinks beat him, Pepper Verbeek beat him. No, if Teofilo would have turned professional in the late 80s, he would have beat Ali. But the early 80s, when they tried to get him, I would pick Ali. It depends on what period that fight happened in. But in the 80s, late 70s, 80s, Teofilo was too good to beat, for Ali to beat at that point. He was past his prime. Teofilo beats all them guys, man. Verbeek, him and Holmes would be a good fight, would have been a real good fight. You know, but the man didn't want to leave his country, so, you know, never happened. But still legendary just from what he did in the amateurs. That's why I had to put him in here, you know. Heavyweight legends. Teofilo was a heavyweight legend. Although he never turned pro, but he was still legendary. One of my favorites. Yeah, I guess y'all can tell. I love some Teofilo Stevenson, man. Yeah. Yup. Get this link in here. But let me play the commercial while I'm doing the link. Where is it? Let me be quiet for a minute so I can get this right. Yep. don't know why I wouldn't.
It's time for another raffle brought to you by the JBT. Our first item is a new 10th generation iPad with a liquid retina display which shows off beautiful color and has plenty of power for all your handheld computing needs. Great for work, play, or just movies on the go. How much is it to enter, you ask? Just $10. Or you can catch the deal with 3 entries for just $25. It's easy to enter. Just cash app your entries to $JBT Network 1. That's $JBT Network 1. Our second item is a set of Kenichi Bear Bluetooth noise canceling headphones. Great for gaming, movies, or travel. As the second prize in this great raffle. Our third item is a Ninja brand air fryer. Great for all your air frying needs. Cooking healthy with the JBT. So send your entries via Cash App to JBT Network 1. That's JBT Network 1. $10 each or 3 for $25. Put raffle on the comment line and you are entered.
Okay, here comes the link. Anybody want to come up and give with their thoughts on this thing, on this device? Today, everybody is welcome. They all are welcome. Copy, paste. Make sure everything is right here. Yeah, that's it. Whoops, there it is. Did I miss any comments? Thomas J says, and Shopper the Young. What language is that, Thomas? Oh, Shopper the Young brother, Kaniki Bear. Okay, yeah, Tom Basilla's got Kaniki Bear's link and everything, and then where you can shop and get some of this fire stuff that he got going on there. Yeah. Appreciate your T Hill. Everybody get there, get in. We got like almost 50. We might have 50. We had like 47, 48 the last time I checked, which was yesterday, Monday. Yesterday was Monday, so yeah, we're getting up there. We're gonna pass the last one. For the TV, we had 63, I believe, and we almost there already. We got a whole month left. Yep. We got a whole month left. Trump says Clay would beat him pre-fight and would set up Mike to burn out during the fight. Yeah. That's a good thought there, Trump. Yeah. I can see that happening too. Yeah. Oh, we got this, T Hill. Everybody's co-host. What's up, T Hill?
Yeah, what's good with
today,
you,
my
man?
brother? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. How you doing, bro?
Oh, good. I'm doing very good, bro. Very good.
Yeah, my thumbs, man, they're a little bit, I guess, off center or something, man, or too big for this damn keyboard on this phone.
Wow. What, you got a new laptop or
Man,
something?
No, I got a phone. But,
Okay.
it was supposed to be support,
Mm-hmm.
but I had
Oh
shop
yeah.
up there
Oh
too.
yeah. You're right. Yeah, I see. Yeah, you.
So it kind of like
Shopper.
through chop, and then I guess we're perked. I don't know where that came from, but
I was wondering. I said Shopper.
and then they got Biota, and that's supposed to be brother, but the R has been replaced by the E, so it's tough, bro. That's why a lot of times I say stuff, it don't come out, it don't look right on the screen because hell, the autocorrect, or sometimes my thumbs just be acting up. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, but we got what we know what you meant. Support Kaniki Bear. We got 30 likes.
For sure. We got Big Dre,
What's up, Big
the
Dre?
infomercialist in the house.
That's the
Man
spokesperson
like
for the
that.
JBT, Big Dre there. Salute. Welcome
Man, I'm gonna
aboard.
tell you right there, man. That boy can sell Coke for water, bro. I'm talking about Coca-Cola. He can sell Coca-Cola for water. People will look at it and see it's brown, but he still be like, "Hey, yo, this is the best water you can ever get."
Okay.
Around here, we call it that dirty water.
Salute, Big Dre. Good to see you, bro.
Big Dre, my man. Cooking healthy with the JBT.
Yep. And you're in.
Hey.
Big Dre hashtag JBT, that is.
Hashtag. Don't let him do a drop for you. Change your world. Some of these matchups, well, man, I'm going to be honest with you. There was a mention at the very end of Ali. We're talking Prime versus Prime, right? Because Ali that fought Joe Frazier and the Ali, you know, that fought all the other guys prior to him being put in incarceration. It's two different things, man. Like it took the special from him and left him with great. And he fought a lot of other great fighters, but he was special. And that time away from the ring took that special from him. And he never could get the conditioning that he had back. I mean, he still was great on his own the way he was to still win fights, but the fights became more and more difficult for him. When before it was a breeze. So, well, you know, I think
right?
that
that's Mike. Mike, right?
No. Both of them to be exact, but I'm just saying Ali.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Ali for sure, man. Ali was different, man. When you talk about his size, his speed, his agility, his footwork, man, Ali is what you would hope for in a fighter.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And he had so many advantages, and like the one thing that made him special, I think when he served that time the first time, he came back still a great fighter. He just wasn't the fighter that he was going into it. So definitely some of those fights with Foreman and things like that. I mean, not Foreman.
Frazier.
No. Frazier. Yeah, Frazier.
Yeah.
That you got to look at that through that lens, man, because Frazier had the opportunity to fight the fighter after the ring. I mean, after the time off. Yeah. The fighter before, man, that dude was vicious.
Yeah, pre-suspension Ali, when he got
pre-suspension Ali is just a different animal.
Frazier don't stand a chance.
Yeah, he's a different animal, and I'm sorry, I like Frazier, but Frazier just he's cooked. But that being said, man, I think that if we go over the fights with Mike Tyson, I think Mike Tyson, what's underrated about him was his head movement, as Al Booger was talking about. Man, his head movement, his quickness, his speed, and his ability to jump, cut, and take angles, man, would have been difficult for a lot of those fighters back then, because no fighters was really doing that type of stuff.
True. Yeah.
So like, you know, you could take the resolve of Marciano, but as you said, Marciano, the thing about him was his endurance throughout the fight. Like, he stayed strong the whole fight.
The whole time,
Marciano also took advantage of older fighters. Like most of the fighters that he beat with huge names, they were already on their way out.
That wasn't his fault, though.
No, not his fault. But see, Tyson came in fighting big names. Yeah. Like people that they thought was gonna get rid of him, and he just was getting rid of them. He was taking them out.
But you gotta take this into consideration now. When he fought Joe Louis was old, but Joe Louis was the #1 contender on an 8-fight winning streak. Now when he fought Jersey Joe, he was old, but guess what else he was? He was the heavyweight champion of the world. And when he fought Archie Moore, he was old, but after Rock beat him, Archie had 30 more fights and only lost 1. So wasn't nobody else beating these fighters.
Well, you're right about that. They were great fighters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It takes somebody great to do that. Now,
right, yeah.
I think, like I said, man, to me it's like Bernard Hopkins. Yeah. He fights that dang British dude, what's his name?
Kawasaki.
Yeah, he fight him earlier in his prime.
No, Joe Smith. Roy Jones.
No, Kawasaki. You right, Kawasaki.
He fight him? Huh? He fought both of them. You're right.
Yeah, he fought both of them. And he fought both of them at the tail end of their career. The tail end of the career for Hopkins is much different than Roy's because of the way he took care of his body and you know, he stayed active. Whereas Roy Jones, man, like I said, after they really stripped him of that victory against Montel Griffin, his whole it flipped the switch up in him where, you know, hey man, these Mickey Frickies can do anything.
He started doing a lot of crazy
stuff.
He
started doing things that he should not have been doing.
And there with his hands behind his back and, you know, crazy. And then doing other stuff, you know, in the nights of fights and stuff, you know?
And losing respect for what really happens in that ring, man. It's like me. Even though I'm bigger than Tank, I go in that ring with Tank. I'm going to get hurt, bro.
Right.
Because I ain't got the stamina, the fatigue. I ain't got the wherewithal to go up in there and just be able to handle him. Now, you take somebody who's seasoned at it and they take this thing with some serious pride and you hop in there not caring, just being nonchalant, you going to get worked. And that's what happened with.
Yeah. We got Al Booger up here, too.
The Booger Man, LKA, the prototype professor. What's good?
What you got, Al Booger?
Cash, salute.
What's happening? Salute. Good to see you, bro.
No,
so you guys who don't know Al Booger, the coolest cat in all of YouTube.
What you got on Al Booger?
It's a great breakdown. I love these dream matchup talks, man.
I appreciate it.
Love it.
It's up his alley right here. He love this stuff.
Yeah.
Next week.
You know.
Next week, y'all. Hagler. Yeah.
Okay. I'll be here for that.
That's gonna be dope.
I like them profiles too.
Yes, the interesting
Al Booger, what you think, man? Come on and break them down for us, man. We'll go fight by fight.
Yeah, Al Booger.
I want to actually touch on Jack Johnson.
Okay.
So, you know, you mentioned Jack Johnson, and I can't compare those two fighters because, like I wrote in the comments section,
you made a very good point. Yeah,
it's just like not even their styles, but the sport itself was different.
That's right.
Like the rules, the way that they fought, they had unlimited rounds. You just fight till one dude drops. A lot smaller
back then. Yeah, that was a very good point you made. Yeah.
So I can't call it because Jack Johnson's one of my favorites of all time. He's like my top 5, top 10 all time fighters.
Okay.
You know, for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
And with his size, the length, he had the jab. I think if you tried to figure out some way to normalize the two different style of sport, if you could normalize it so that they like somewhat even,
right?
I feel like Jack Johnson got a real good shot because of his size. He got the jab, and if you get inside, he's gonna clinch you. And he was a really strong fighter too.
Right.
He could really wrestle.
Yeah.
Patient
too. Yeah.
Intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a hard time picking against Jack, but I got you because Iron Mike was just ferocious. He got the head movement, the speed, boom, 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 boom. I can't see Jack's style beating Tyson's style, but if you were to normalize them somewhat, that's a toss up to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I would. I had Tyson stoppage or decision, but yeah.
If they go decision, man, I don't know. That becomes a little bit more. It levels out the playing field for Johnson for me.
Yeah, but I was saying.
How about this?
But no, that's what I was saying with that because of Jack's. He had like a slow type style. It wouldn't really affect Mike's gas tank all that much, like normally.
Exactly.
You know.
But here's the thing, Cass. He was fighting unlimited rounds.
That's true.
If they fought 12, 15 round fights.
Put that in his favor.
Does Jack fight differently? You know what I'm saying? Does he fight differently in a 15 round fight?
That was
Can
big.
Tyson go 15?
Tyson never went past 12. Yeah, that's true. That's
exactly
big in Jack's favor there. That would be a big one. Yeah.
So I just can't call it. I want to give Jack a little bit more love because I felt like it was like automatic. He's going to lose and get stopped. But I'm like, man, Jack was tough, man.
He had to be, man. You got to think about the era in which he came up and fought.
Exactly.
You know, we still talking about when people didn't view you as a person.
That's right.
And you didn't get the amenities that are allowed most people that, you know, entertain folk and fight for their nation and their country. Jack Johnson did all of that, but he was still an enemy. And they still didn't like him.
A lot of disadvantages to him.
He had to go against judges that didn't like him.
Yep.
He had to go against referees who didn't like him.
And
crowds, everybody moved against him. You know what I'm saying?
and was still
And they
winning.
got to throw stuff in the ring at you too.
All of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
All
saying?
that.
So like,
Vicious.
yeah, that toughness, did I say that grit? Like most of these fighters don't get to like experience what they had to. So like, they got that added toughness that makes it a good fight.
One thing Jack did though, he earned his respect though over time. He
For
earned
sure.
it from the people,
For sure, the ladies loved him though.
There's certain ladies, I'm not going to go there, but a certain type of lady,
That is true.
In state lines, you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
So let's go over it. Yeah, you ain't never lied. Yeah. We want to be monetized. Cass, go to the next one.
What was the next? Where are we? We had what about Big George and Mike?
Goodness.
Because Custer Amato told Mike never to fight Big George, and because they went over that Frazier fight a lot of times, and Mike, after even Custer passed away, Mike remembered that he never got it, because when he came out of prison and fought Peter McNeely, they were in talks for it to be George Foreman, but Mike was like, nah. I remember what Cuss told me about this guy. I ain't doing it. What y'all think on that one, Big George? Like,
yeah, I feel like George is. It's just a bad style matchup. Same as very not the same, very similar to Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier. Yeah, Big George. He's big, obviously. Right. Big George. He had the reach, crazy power at range. Right. He had an uppercut. He had a hook. He had a jab. I just feel like as Tyson comes in with that ferocious head movement and style, he's going to get caught. It's just too much. Yeah, it's just too big, too strong.
Especially that power style coming in there. He would have got caught coming in, because he would have had to try to get inside. He couldn't reach him from out, Yeah, he would have definitely.
Exactly.
I mean,
just the best style matchup.
Shout out to the good brother Bruce Gaz. I mean, he showed that fight with my man. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank right now.
Was it Mike and somebody?
No, the last fight he fought before he retired. It was George
Foreman?
Yeah, what was it?
Oh, Michael Moore. Was it Michael? No, that wasn't.
No. Before he retired the first time.
Oh.
The first time. I can't think of his name, man.
Was it a white guy?
Was it Lyles?
No, he was a brother. No, it was not Lyles. But the dude fought Lyles too. Jimmy Young. Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man, I can't believe I forgot the name, but Jimmy Young took advantage of a Foreman who really wasn't really into it, and helped him see that it was time for him to take a break. But even in that fight, it was a difficult fight, man. And I mean, George usually was in shape, and like you said, man, he just was. He had a chin too. People don't give George the credit that he do. He could take punches. He could take hell of a punches. But the fact that 40-something years old, he comes back and he dominates the heavyweight division. And I'm talking about at a time when the heavyweight division was popping. Man, that just tells you how talented he was as a fighter, man. So imagine him when he was young and ferocious, because that dude that fought against all the greats he was making mockery of people that were great fighters.
He was destroying them, man.
When he was focused at his best, some of the best who ever fight, man. Norton was a great fighter. He made him look like child's play.
He did the
Frazier, he made him look like he didn't have no chance. He made him look like he came into the ring.
That was crazy.
I never seen nobody do Frazier like that.
Nobody never did it
ever. Like nobody done Frazier like that, man. That dude, he was over there tap dancing in the ring, man.
Frazier jumped up one time and started running.
He jumped
right behind.
He started running.
I mean, I forgot which one of his one of his kids said something about that fight. I forgot what they said, but they said, man, I swear to God, I wanted my dad to quit after that fight. He beat that dude so bad that his kids didn't even want him to fight no more, man. Like,
Jimmy.
No, he got beat bad. He got beat bad on that one. Yeah. But you couldn't keep him down though. That's that South Carolina,
There go
Philly.
Boost gas.
Yeah, he said good point. Jimmy Young proved you take George into deep waters.
Yeah, I don't think George really was really given the proper respect that he really deserves, man, as a fighter. But that dude, he did damage to people.
Yeah.
And when he was into the fight and he was conditioned, oh man, you was in for so that would be a fight that, I mean, I think the size and I think the strength and the boxing ability that he doesn't get the credit for, man, would take a hold, and I think he would get Tyson. But I think it'd be such a good fight that we get 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Because Cuss told Mike not to fight. Even after Cuss passed away, Mike remembered that, because him and Cuss watched George and Joe millions of times, and Cuss was like, "Nah, don't ever."
Hey, you want to know something else, man? Talking about just respect and wishes, you know, and the respect that Tyson has for certain individuals, man. I know he wanted to kill your boy. I shouldn't say it that way. He wanted to unalive your boy Larry Holmes because of what Larry Holmes did to Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And you know, in that fight, Holmes was doing a dang good job against Ali, man. And when he threw the punch, if that rope wasn't there, I think we would have caught him with that punch, man, because Tyson was open when he was throwing that hook. I was like, oh,
that's
man.
What I said to you. Prime Holmes could have did that for 12 rounds against Tyson, where he started out.
Real quick.
So that's why I picked Holmes. Yeah.
T Hill, it's 4 o'clock. I don't want to, jump on anybody's toes, but who you got? Who'd you pick in that Holmes Tyson? Prime Holmes, Prime Ali. Who'd you pick in that one?
Prime Holmes, Prime Ali?
Yeah.
Still favor Ali, man, because it's great.
That's Ali. I meant Holmes Tyson. Damn.
Holmes Tyson.
I'm tripping.
I thought you meant
Holmes Tyson.
Yeah.
Oh, I would favor Holmes. I think there's been 2 great boxers that people don't give credit to. One of them, he's a legend, but people still don't give him the proper, and that's Holmes. The other one is Chris Bird, man.
Oh, wow.
Skill set, that man, Chris Bird, could box his tail off. He became champion in a division that without power, man.
Yeah.
Without power, he was able to beat people without power, man, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Because you run your wrist throwing shots up in there, because any shot coming back at you could be the last shot you see.
That's true.
True.
I mean, hell, you got David Tua knocking people out. You got man. We can talk
about his resume now. He fought Vitali. He fought Tua, Holyfield, Okendo, Galata. That's not much of a name, but McCline.
Galata was tough.
That's a good
fought Vladimir too. Oh yeah, McCline was good.
Neil McCline was a beast at one point. He hits you go down.
Oh yeah, he's a big boy.
That is a hell of a resume there. Damn.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay, fellas, we gotta get ready to get out of here.
Hey man, it's always a pleasure, man. When we talking,
always.
I like this segment. This segment is a really good segment, man.
Every Tuesday. Marvelous Marvin Hagler next week.
That's gonna be tough.
The middleweights from the 50s, man. Sugar Ray, LaMotta, Gene Former, Carmen Basilio, Randy Turpin. The 50s was the era for middleweight. So we see how Hagler do against them boys,
Word.
Y'all got anything before we get out of here? Because I've been warned about going into Just Dance.
By the Melanin Queen?
No.
Sorry, don't play.
Wait, let's talk fast. He's supposed to give us the preview. He must not be in here no more.
Nah. He going around doing his YouTube rounds. He doing his YouTube rounds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but y'all got anything else to close off before we get out?
Acquiesce to the great Al Booger. Let the professor talk.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate all your input in the chat during the show too.
The gracious and grateful T Hill. I got nothing, man. Just great show as usual. I love the boxing talk. JBT.
That's right.
That's it, bro. Salute to the chat.
Appreciate you, bro.
Salute to y'all. To the chat. For sure. And see you over there at the Voices platform, so we can hear some more of that good old fashioned boxing talk.
Appreciate you, brothers, man, coming up helping close the show down. We're gonna get ready
Oh
to get
yeah,
out.
I got one more thing. I got one more thing. And for all you ninjas that want to eat healthy,
To do
get
what
the
now?
block
Say it again.
pass.
Say it
All
again,
you ninjas, for all you ninjas out there,
Yeah.
listening to the box historian giving you that good history lesson in boxing, and you get hungry. We got something for you. We got a ninja. It's inspired with you in mind. We got a ninja air fryer that will crisp up even the soggiest of French fries
That's right. Get
the
your
next day after
$10.
and make them a delicacy. But if you put them in fresh, oh my goodness, the
It's a
stories
3
they
for
tell.
25, though, you know?
3 for $25. We at the block party special. And who
Went
don't
on
like
3
a block
fries?
party? You can get
Went
all
on
you
3
can get.
fries?
Not only can you not cook healthy and enjoy some good meals, but you can listen to some good stuff.
Yeah.
Have
and
your
the
ears
iPad, too.
surrounded by sound, high quality sound.
And the Apple
And
iPad.
then on top of that, you can plug it into that iPhone and you could be watching some stuff.
Those are 3
all
first
in
place
one fell
prizes.
swoop.
3 first
And all
place.
you got it.
Really?
Exactly. 3 first place prizes. So
Mm.
govern yourselves accordingly. Come to the block party. It's only $25. It'll provide you a lifetime of pleasure and enjoyment. So
That's right.
you can't win if you don't hop in. So go on and get you a block party pass. My shout out to my good brother Al Booger, affectionately known as the Prototype Professor. Shout out to the Box Historian, Cash Sports. Shout out to the better half, Miss Cash Sports, for allowing us to have this time with him. See you over at Just Do.
Okay. Appreciate y'all, brothers, man. Al Booger and Thomas Hill, our panelists today. Appreciate you. We're gonna get on over here to The Voice. But tomorrow we will be back with another show. Because if it's Monday through Friday at 2 p.m., it's the Box Historian, bringing you all that boxing history. Big Dre, #JBT, Just Do Boxing, Terrell Cameron, Jarrell Hattie, Tim Layton, #JBT. Real Prison Talk with Tommy. Sipping in the water. BN Boxing News. Let's Talk Fashion, #JBT. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. Mike Grimm, Melanin Queen 27. Ray Patterson, straight out of New Jersey. James Brody, appreciate you, James. Technique, Al Booger. Thomas Hill, #JBT. Hardcore Boxing News, #JBT. Ant McQueen, Mike Mazik, Miss Cash, #JBT. And a special salute to Thomas Hill and Al Booger for coming up on their panel, helping me out today and giving that fire opinions on these fights. Appreciate both them two brothers. Just Do Boxing straight ahead. This is Cash Sports. I'm out. Have a great day, everybody.